Dun. Enter this zone. All right, excellent condition. Cool, connection's good. Welcome to the Santai Podcast with your host Santai. Woo, woo, woo. Let's cue the intro. Hey, yeah. Once again, welcome to the Santai Podcast. It's Santai. We here right now, just tainow, a place where we combine what? Our mind with our heart, see what our gut mind is saying, or connect any other circles you see going on. Connect all three of them and let whatever come out, come on out. Let it just burst out of your imagination in whatever form and fashion. It has been a while, but we are here. I'm happy to be able to have the time to go live, the setup. I've been hard at work with a lot of the Timation projects, living life experiences, growing up with the daughter, being with this family, a lot of experiences going on. But I have the Discord open. If you want to have a conversation, you can jump in. I'll post a link in the description. Well, in the not description, in the chat box on the side. Bang, bang, bang. Yeah, it's been a lot of it's been real fun. It's been interesting, but I've been making the best fun as I always do with these Tomations. I'm going to show a slight preview to one. I'm not going to show the whole one. I'm going to show the whole one in its entirety in another video. But it was a prompt that was given to me by UL, and then I mixed it in with what King. Hey, King, jumping on in, tied on down. A prompt that they had gave me about the God form and changing reality, like how you see in trips and stuff when it shifts to another dimension. So the pieces started coming together, reality to make such things happen, and it turned out to be a blast. Took about 4 or 5 days to make. 4 or 5 days to make, and it was cool. And I did it based off of a mushroom out of body experience that I had. When would say that I saw the cameras and stuff like that. So I've been wanting to recreate this movie like animation in some form for a long time. I got the older one that I did. If y'all check that out, I called it Mushroom Fever. But if it's like if you look at it in a weird way, it looked like it's saying mushrooms forever, where I was like really put a bunch of like animations, like my best job at those times. I had some AR things going on. I was drawing things up, having to appear on the ground. So yeah, it's one big story that it seems like I've been telling myself for eternity. Telling myself for eternity. But yeah, the conversations for this is open for anything. Can't be on too long. But we can talk about all the wildest stuff. All the wild I saw Kanye, they did part 2, and like I said, he was just tying, just like I said in the other one. He was just tying, talking about the school system and people's mind being under control and the matrix from influences that they not aware of, but they're acting off of. And to tie on that, I was talking to moms yesterday intensely. She was like talking about wanting to change, and she still live in Philly. And she was saying how she's waking up to seeing the programming of the city and how everybody running around happy, like she in the hood part, running around being happy, but really and being content. Should be happy, but being content with what's going on and everything that's doing because of the program set up for them, like how the welfare set up or the certain programs for the housing and the neighborhoods with this 5 Chinese stores and the poppy stores and everything, taking the money by siphoning in, and just how the culture of it. It's a whole culture behind it. So she's starting to see, like, wake up to the reality of that and wanting something different. She's like, I'm not going to die and on this lifetime living in PHA house, like public housing house. Said, not this time, not this lifetime. So her conscience is really erupting, and she was talking about the shootings that's happening and everything. And we was talking about this for like on and off for like a good 2 hours combined. And then later that day, my her sister, my aunt, her boyfriend she had for about 10 years actually got shot. Actually got shot yesterday and passed up, like went to another world. So she called me back and I was like, yo, and I was like, wow. and make sure my Aunt Tricia and stuff is safe. But she was saying, yeah, we were just talking about all this today, the change, and I knew I was feeling something inside of me. I knew I was feeling. I'm not crazy. Don't be talking for no reason. So I would just support and say, yeah, the evidence is in the pudding. Hold on one second. The evidence is in the pudding. It's like right. Hold on, Rudy. Rudy, stop it. Right, try to get to it. Get to me. But yeah, our foresight was on point. Our foresight was on point. And yeah, it was a tragic event. It was a tragic event. They was like I said, they was together for 10 years and everything. Rudy, stop barking. Oh yeah, yeah. It's a tragic story of foresight. But foresight is a mug. Foresight is a mug because it comes to me in the same way like my mom was saying, just having the casual conversations. And even if it's a casual conversation with myself, if I'm talking to the space, to the spirits and stuff, and then in my mind, and then things would just happen. The synchronicities, as Carl Jung said, the synchronicities in life would just make it so something later that day happened or something soon after just pops up. It's like, oh, that was just on my mind. That was just on my mind. So what is the mind and everything to begin with? That's a big study to go into. And these is all things that we interested in as human beings. That's why philosophy exists in the first place. I was when I'm not on the podcast here, I be and if I'm not working, I be having podcasts with Jermaine, like my girlfriend. We'll be talking for about 2 hours. I'll be real animated, going back and forth, trying to get ideas out. Most of the time, pitting them against each other, just working out reality with trying to build a relationship. But I'll be getting the podcast, so my thoughts and stuff be drained after that. I just my mouth be going, but I be feeling into it because we be talking about movies, we talking about poems, we just be putting it all together, trying to see the bigger picture, trying to see the bigger picture, and then learning that experience of everybody bigger picture can be different, can be a little is a little different, is a little different, and how we can work together to create something new, and that's our experiences as human beings too, creating new like a new spirit bodies to exist in and stuff like that, a new essence that's combined from the two or three or five, however the collective is and stuff like that. Like the collective of the Just Tie, we come together and create these energies and stuff that rupture the matrix, change things around. It's been a lot of synchronicities popping up on this channel, like live since the beginning. Since the beginning, it's been amazing. It's been amazing. Yeah, if you got a blunt or something too, light up, light up. It's light up time. Yo, did y'all see Snoop Dogg kit bashing? Kit bashing. I never heard of that. Hey, you well? Let's see what that's about. Kit bashing. Oh yeah, but foresight is a proven thing. Wait, I wanna look it up online. They've turned Yahoo to my default browser. Has been messing with me. No, it's this form of modeling. I'm gonna look into that. Here we go. Right there. Kit bashing. What does kit bash mean? Kit bash reminds of a practice whereby a new scale model is created by taking pieces out of commercial kits. These pieces may be added to a custom project. Oh, yeah, I see the idea behind that. And Adam Savage, I used to watch him on Mythbusters all the time growing up. He was the quirky one, um, compared to the other guy, I forget right now, with the mustache. And to find out they ain't even like each other in real life. They never like hung out once. But that's what made the show so precious. Because they was actually going at each other with different kind of philosophies, but tackling the same idea, seeing if it's a myth or not. Or can like building these extravagant machines and props. It's a good show. Let me get so the chat can pop up since y'all in there now. Chat. Here we go. Like Nin Blender. Horrific times we living in. So you can do it in meta spaces as well, like Nin Blender. Let me see what Nin Blender is. I thought I saw that pop up a little bit. I gotta keep checking this. This wire thing is. There it is. They popped up Ninja Blender. Yeah, if you could post a link to what you're talking about, you will. I'm interested in that. Let's see what Nin Blender is. Working with Blender is like, it's magic in and of itself. While y'all here in the beginning, I'll show a preview to the animation that I said that I was working on for the past 5 days. And it was prompted by you, UL. You're saying get the simulations from how it is when universes change and simulate and stuff like that. And when it shifts, not simulate, when it shifts. I got an example right here. Show a little preview. It was real fun because I didn't really know how it was going to turn out. I was going to leave it with one scene, but then I said, no, let me keep making it more of what I actually want it to be. Make sure the desktop audio is right first. All right, it's cool. Let's go and show real quick. Woo! Can't show the rest right now. I'll probably show it later during the podcast. But yeah, so I'm gonna do it in the full video. But that's the first part right here. You can see that I was the Thressa was chilling. Then boom, cameras, bang, walls disappear. Hey, let's mess up the script. I created this. Wow. Oh wow, my whole reality was on that disc. Huh? And more mysteries ensue as the other scenes pop up. Having fun with that. Having fun. It was fun making that. Learning the camera angles, working with perspective, because the last scene is one of the most precious ones. And when you watch it without me talking over it, it's going to bring about some more cool stuff. But yeah, King, I got that part on. And just the power of like messing with the shift, simulate, resimulate, all saying, hey, Alley Cat. Hey, Alley Cat, welcome. And the way to put it together was so simple. Like I already had the idea in my head because I lived it. So it's just like reproducing life. Like art imitates, they say life imitates art. life imitates art. Art imitates life. Depending on what perspective you in the moment. Are you in the art? I was like how Neil Brennan, the guy that helped make the Chappelle Show, he was talking about his ayahuasca journey and how some people can just look at the story of Noah in the Bible stories as a book or as art and stuff. But he said in his ayahuasca journey, he was Noah. That I was Noah in that situation. But as I keep creating more and more of the Timations, you're going to see a real cross of the characters and everything. The characters that's created in the stories, they go on travel dimensions and pop up and create stories for other people. Yeah, I do take a little pride in that, moving fast, because I'm up to like 2:30 in the morning working on this stuff. Like sometimes I don't get off the computer until my eyes start bugging. Like I'll be like having a thing and I'm like, I just gotta change this. And then I'm like, all right, I just gotta put my head down for a second. And then look at the screen again. I bought some blue screen glasses where you can look at the screen. It's supposed to like take away the blue layer so you don't damage your eyes. but I bought the wrong kind. It like magnifies it too much. I gotta sit like this so I can try to I could try to edit. uh but yeah, perspective is everything. Oh, I wanted to tie you on a cool thing that's fresh on the membrane. It's a new movie called The Doors. The Doors is on Amazon Prime. I just watched it yesterday and I was breaking it down to Jamina. It was cool. It was cool because she brought up the thing to me to tie it into my wait, not my doors, the door, or is it just doors? Door movie. All right, here we go. It tied in because we was like I said, we have deep conversations about life. Like I'm living life and stuff. Before I go into that, you said you have an art table. Yeah, I have about 3 art tables. They kind of fold up. It's these black little tape. Oh, tablet. I said tablet. For Blender, I'm using a mouse and the keyboard, or I will use the VR. That's the next level. I use the VR for painting. So if y'all want to and y'all got ideas, let me know something y'all want me to try to create in VR. Something not too complicated because I would have to put it into Blender still, but I can get the gist of creating it in VR. And I got the tablet for the iPad to draw and stuff like that. And but it only could be used for like 2D or to create 2D textures and stuff I'm seeing. But now they got it with Procreate where you can color 3D models. You can color 3D models and texture them, turn it around and everything, and then export it as a texture. But my tablet is not powerful enough to do all of that shit. I got a tablet like a good 5, 6 years ago. Said you need a newer version of the iPad to be able to do this. I was like, all right now, all right. So it'll be coming up. It'll be coming up. But I know with Blender you can have the grease pencil where you can hook it up to it and then you can like draw on Blender and really model it like that. That's the next step as the technology comes. Thanks for asking, Well. Thanks for asking. Because that's why I got the glove. That's why I got the glove because I be using the mouse a lot. So I'm staying protected. My wrists be going at it sometimes. Yesterday it was going at it. Had to do stretches and stuff with it. So I don't get carpal tunnel. But it's the sacrifice. But yeah, the door. It's this. Why are they showing the doors? The band. You in Gravity Sketch? Yeah, I got Gravity Sketch. I got Google. I use Google Tilt. I use a couple different programs because I don't like any. I like some of them for what they're able to do. Like all of them do different things. Now that I know how to use Blender and stuff, I go back into it. I'm like, oh, this is what this able to do and not able to do. So depending on the project is which program I'm gonna jump into. But Gravity Sketch is cool because you're able to use layers. Where's it at? Theme. The one that I really like using is this one. And anybody out there that's being a digital artist going out there is Masterpiece VR. Masterpiece VR, you able got a lot of good exports and stuff like that. And this the one y'all see me use, me being in this room a couple times. This is not my video right
Just
here,
gonna
so
be
shout outs to this
shrunken in.
guy.
So this way you're clearing out geometry. You know?
But yeah, drawing in VR space, like it's next level.
Yeah, see that didn't work out the way it turned these fingers all to
And as
junk.
this magician guy was doing, that's what I was doing. That's what we all do in the magician space. Create reality.
Oh, didn't really turn out the way I wanted.
Wow, it's wild. Yeah, that's my Steam library. So I'm burning and learning. Is I got the Michael Jackson. Also, I never knew they made a glove for carpal tunnel. Arturian man. I think I know what that is. Probably cat. Hey, Block. Hey, today is a good day. I had a wonderful night. Had a wonderful last night and the beginning of the morning. And I got this animation to like really like getting into it. Oh, I'm like, that sound real. I know what you're talking about. That sound real like Victorian, but I'm like, no, it's actually Renaissance, Da Vinci and stuff like that. That's all the cat was tying on. But yo, have any of y'all seen the movie Doors? The movie Doors is a good. They keep showing me this other movie, but I really want to get y'all to know which one I'm talking about. I guess I gotta type in Amazon Prime. Must be that new. The animation of the hand reminded me of the. Oh, okay. Thanks for clearing that up. Watch the Doors. All right, I can show this trailer. I think. Yeah, this the trailer right here. Thanks, Max.
Doors started appearing all over the world.
Hello? Hi,
Jamal.
buddy.
I have a door.
No, if you had a door, there would be like a million of those knockers here sterilizing this entire place.
Sure, if they knew, they'd be here, but I didn't report it.
I think this is a good time to go.
Yeah, I was watching this yesterday. Yeah, 2 days ago now. But it's these alien doors that come down and people start disappearing, and then some people come back, and they either come back much better, or the people say they come back with a psychosis,
It's a lockdown.
and they don't like they crazy,
Down. Maybe it takes us somewhere.
or they don't ever come back. And they had Josh from Drake and Josh in there. Oh, this the movie we was looking for. Okay. We was trying to rewatch this again last
Don't
night.
you see?
But we ain't know what movie had Josh in
We
it.
can learn the secrets of the universe.
I'm in some kind of hallucination. There are copies of myself.
What is this? What is this?
Also, it's not new. People just never talked about it. But that movie, I was tying on it because I was going deep in it. Because my girlfriend was we was talking about mushrooms in the beginning, me doing mushrooms and stuff, and her like kind of just admitting to a little point, saying, "Hey, I'm not sure in my personal life if when you start doing mushrooms and all this, if that was like the best thing that ever happened and stuff like that." But I was like saying that's a real thing that happened because I seen Lock and Key. They just started a new season, but the movie on the doors, I've related that to the mushrooms so heavily because it was they came down and people was able to go through the doors and disappear, like I said, or not come back. And then like the door was able to talk to people and give them these telepathic thoughts depending on the situation they was in. But it was like the actual reality thoughts that was going on behind the cover up on trying to just make things as you usually pattern them. So it was playing all those voices, and he saw the black guy in the end. He was able to the guy the Great Bear, he was able to communicate with the door after a while. And then the other guy was popping up. He was scared of the door. She's like, "You don't know what this is." He said, "Just because you communicated with it don't mean that you know what this is all about. It says it's murdering people. It's murdering people." He's like, "No, this is my friend." He's like, "No, he's like, I communicate." He says, "My friend." He said, "How can we be sure about this?" He done called the cops and everything on him. But people was going through these doors and they was experiencing different realities. They showed some of it. Like some of them, they saw different copies of themselves, or they saw different worlds where it was different things going on. Like the reality was just shifted. Like it would be stuff floating around, mountains and stuff like that. And people was really interested in it. And it was the people that went through the doors was called knockers. You get it? Like they willing to knock at the door and stuff like that. And then the door was actually explaining to them to the guy how he was a extraterrestrial intelligence here to archive humans and help archive humans for the next advancement and things. I was like, that's like what we say a lot of the mushrooms say at one of the deepest of levels, or one of the stories that play out that they say. It's like, hey, we're here to help the human beings, or here as a part of the species, and then we're able to travel to these other dimensions. And then you see the people being scared of it, like in a movie. They say, "Oh, don't go near it. You'll get murdered. You'll get murdered." But then it was always like the most curious of folk that they showed, like walking up to it. Yeah, not all people that go beyond come back. That's what they were showing. There's no need to come back. You come back. You make, like, I titled this the plug into the Matrix. You plugged yourself back into the Matrix. Ali K said, that door reminded me of the one from my dreams, but it was Asian letters. Was odd, but nothing out of the ordinary. Hey, it was just made by a different company. And they got the blueprints. And it was like Apple and Windows and stuff. If they choose to stay beyond, they have another take your place. All the way. That's why I like pulling out the story, how it play out on this earth for that anime Bleach. And Bleach, when they go into the spirit world, they have a replacement Kai to put into their body to do the daily duties, like go to school, hang out with the friends and stuff like that, while they off in the spirit realm battling, doing all these other amazing things, which is just as amazing as being a human, but it's just something different. I know exactly what you mean. Let's see if I can pull that up. Bleach, what is Bleach? That I don't know what to type in. Bleach anime. Here it is. It's called a cone, not a kai. I was close. It's called a cone. In Bleach. A cone. A cone, Japanese for lower part strengthened form, modified soul created during Project Spearhead. His name was short for cone, typically inhibits the stuff lying. Wait, no, that's not what I'm talking about. Hold on. Cone typically inhabits the stuff lying, but occasionally doubles as a soul candy pill for Ichiko, taking charge of Ichiko's human body. I think that's something different. Yeah, this is just some nerd stuff. I thought it was going to give me a good hint. But yeah, my terms with that show is kind of iffy. It goes out the window. They used Ul said they had a copy that had all the memories of the body, and then place it in. It was a wonderful TikTok somebody made about the Matrix and her thoughts. It was a wonderful lady talking about her thoughts, and she was saying how she was saying the Matrix. She was saying, what if people are trying to sell us the Matrix because we already brought into the Matrix, like with VR and how they know how to sell it to us and everything. And what if that's because that's what we already did when we came to this earth? And I was like, yeah, that's an awesome correlation. That's an awesome correlation. That's how I seen it when I was watching those movies from the 90s about VR and stuff with Arnold Schwarzenegger and them offering VR to people to like live vacations and stuff like that. Yeah, we got this vacation and you can relax. You can do this, or you can have events go on and stories and scenarios like play out like action movie. be the action movie, the main star in the action movie. And they was offering all of this, and the people's like, yeah, this sounds cool. I was like, yo, if we like we was doing that already. We was doing it already when we signed up for this. So now our technology as we creating is familiar to our feelings of who we are, how we think we came here, how we feel as though we zapped here. So it's what we do. It's what we do when we create in the metaverse. Metaverse is something like I heard you type in the Discord, the metaverse is a layer of this reality, something that exists here, another plane inside of this plane. Yo, on a funny note, I was watching once that a related movie that popped up to the doors. It was called Trump versus the Illuminati. Trump versus the Illuminati, and it wasn't a documentary. It was supposed to be Trump going to Mars and to other planets with aliens. And the Illuminati. And the animation in it was rendered in Eevee. Like it wasn't too grand, but it made it to Amazon Prime. Like this is how the aliens look. But I brought it up because they made Trump. I watched like 5 minutes of it before I turned it off. But Trump was an AI that was they had a piece of his DNA, and then they grew it alongside an AI chip, and then it grew alongside together to create a Trump that was like half human, half literal robot. Like the technology was able to grow and reproduce together to make this version of Trump. But they only show his face too in the beginning. The rest they only show the helmet and stuff like that. I guess they really, really didn't want to get sued or something. I don't know. Let's send them a letter one time. Yeah. And then this Matrix, you always got you always get the choice. Like I was just thinking, popped in my head. You always get the choice of what you want to be, what you want to do. Like the whispers that we hear is just like in the video games when you see it pop up and it say what kind of mission do you want to do based off the character or even why you that character. You get like side missions that pop up. We talked about this before, side missions that pop up, so-called main missions that pop up. But I've met people, I always been adamant about ending games and stuff, but lately I haven't. But when I was real into it, I used to be surprised by people that said, hey, the point of, you don't have to end the game when you playing the game. You don't have to like end it. You can just walk around and stuff. And especially when I started doing acid and playing open world games like Zelda on the Switch, I would just be admiring the scenery and stuff, like just walking around. What is the purpose of me trying to beat the game right now? Even if I never beat it, so what? It is, yeah, people like a good meme. I love memes. I actually have some memes lined up that I was going to show if people didn't pop on, and I probably still bring it up for some topics. And because people been posting it in the Discord too. Shout outs to Exile, Wild Man Ninja, and Block. I'm gonna pop that up in a bit. Actually, hold on, where's the Discord at? He was popping off real into me. But yeah, a meme. It was wild how Terrence McKenna put together. I love memes. And then put together Matrix, that thing. You always got the like. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot what I was totally talking about. I was about just going to the memes, which we still are. But I was talking about the Matrix and having the choices and like an adventure game, it popping up and because like I heard the choices of technology and stuff, and I'm just got the whispers back in my head saying, yeah, you could either like play the games or you can be creating the games that your friend's going to be playing in 10 years. Like that's like a reality type calling. like a esoteric type speaking. Like even if you don't go to the calling of creating those things, but hearing those words for me was like a inkling, a breadcrumb left in reality to remind myself of who I am. And I think this is put around for us in all of our own different languages, all of our own languages, for us to pick up on and have the journey continue. And King, you said make a Talmation of you winning a Taekwondo tournament. Oh, get some Dragon Ball Z on. I got something in mind. And finding all the secrets of the game, the ending is easy to find, so the secrets have more value. Yeah, I like how you put that. The secrets have more value. The Easter eggs to put it in shows. I put some in my animations too, learning from the greats, Pixar's and stuff like that. But yeah, Easter eggs, going out to find them because it's like, what is that urge to find it? What is making you find it? The person that created that art piece, that created that GTA world, the group, that's a art. That definition when they just creating just that one wall, they put their attention was there. Like me doing that stuff is work. Like it's kind of taking you sometimes can have pre-made presets, but if you when you making your own preset, it's just like a painting with every brush stroke with intention. So if they put that Easter egg in it, it's like, hey, you really paying attention to my artwork. So if you paying this much attention to this world, look what you can find. Look what more there is to there, because the creators of worlds are always like, I don't know, they always like taking care of the creations, like building curiosities within their own realms. It's kind of like part of the picture. Kind of like part of the picture. I see. What? What's going on? Test. I heard a disconnect symbol. I mean, symbol. And when you really get the Easter eggs and stuff, like you really love the game, you see every inch, start seeing. It's like you living in it. You living in the game. You taking the time to walk around, breathe, smell the flowers. How you could translate it to this world. Getting the time to smell the flowers. Seeing what graffiti lies underneath of this bridge. Who created this graffiti underneath this bridge? What was they going through? It's this VR game. I was able to spray paint and do graffiti. I posted it on the Just Tie Down channel, on the Just Tie Down page. I'm posting on Instagram soon. But it's pretty cool doing that. But I said I was gonna bring up the memes because y'all posted them in there. So like I said, thank y'all for doing so. Let's see what's going on. Oh, talking about AI, said Will Smith posted this on Instagram. And let me tell you, the laugh that escaped my mouth was unreal. Yeah, Will Smith lived this life. Shouts to True Life Stories. He was posting a video of snippet from Will Smith book about him taking ayahuasca. I found that very like interesting. And for him to go public with it as well. Even though you had to really go to the book to get the details. Live every moment, laugh every day, fuck your couch. Shouts to the great Rick James. Wet dream catcher. Improvision. Oh, you said, King, you said the blue meanies, I had them shrooms before. How were they? I heard they small, but they pack a punch. If I got it right. I think I did see these already. I'm like, yo, these seem too familiar. The P and psilocybin be like the blue wise. Yo, that was a trip for me learning how to spell psilocybin. I would just after a while I would just type it into Google and see what pop up and copy and paste. But then I had to like get my gears grinding eventually. Oh, there go the word. Oh, sorry, I keep clicking the wrong one. You said it was okay? Yeah, pristine. Somebody just gave me some what they call Tibetan mushrooms. He's like, yeah, I think he said, yeah, I really want you should try these out. And he gave it to a friend of a friend, so he's like, yeah, he said, I should give these to you. He said, just take half of it, should be a good trip. The whole one, he didn't really give a definition for it. So I didn't weigh it out and see what it is. I typed in Tibetan mushroom though. Nothing popped up. I don't know if that's the true name. It looks like a cubensis species though, by the looks of it. Where oh yeah, they wouldn't let me. My computer was so crowded earlier. That's all. That I had to delete a whole program so that I can be able to. No, I had to delete a file so I could uninstall a program. That's neither here or there. Try and get this folder open. Oh, there it is. There it is. Like open. Oop.
What do you want to talk to Dr. Oz about?
All right, here we go. Sound dope, Todd, to dive into on those Tibetan mushrooms. Yeah, I'm keeping my stomach clear. I was thinking within the next 3 days. You popped in my mind too. How you were saying you just took it at nighttime. I was thinking about it yesterday when you said that. I was like, yeah. Like I say, I always pop in my mind, just like virtual reality. You're here, but you're not there. But yeah, this was King Oz on the show talking about psychedelics.
What do you want to talk to Dr. Oz about?
Oh, I have a question. What about the health benefits of magic mushrooms? Because in Denver, it just got okayed a little bit.
This is one of the most exciting things in medicine. I'll tell you a quick story. Bill Wilson. Anyone know who he is? Bill Wilson founded AA, Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yes. Yeah, I need to know him better.
So the question is, how did he stop drinking? Because there was no AA before he started it. 1934, he has an out-of-body, like existential experience, a hallucinogenic experience, probably mediated by some hallucination.
Man, stick with out-of-body, bro.
Because of that experience, he stopped drinking. And he spent a lot of his life trying to get LSD into AA programs. And back then, it wasn't a bad thing because people thought that if you could hack an experience that showed you what life was really about, that it was okay. And on the 60s with Timothy Leary and the LSD and dropping out, dropping acid and all that stuff, it started becoming a problem and became a moral battle. And right now in America, we can't study it that well. But we are beginning to now find that things like ketamine, which is special K, magic mushroom, psilocybin, LSD, all these drugs are actually helping people with PTSD, with bad depression, with alcoholism.
Sure, King Oz.
Listen,
I mean, Dr. Oz.
80% of the time people stop smoking when they do these. These are not, by the way, you're not raving with these things at concerts. This is done with doctors supervising it. We're very thoughtful. Right. But this is shocking. 80% of the time people are getting off cigarettes and they're not smoking 2/3 of the time, even a year later. Whoever thought you'd get that kind of result? And it's one time. You're not doing LSD all the time.
He is shocked.
So it makes you really excited about the fact that you might be able to hack what years of meditation might be required to achieve, which is, by the way, a better way to go if you can. But if you're not going to do the meditation, if you can't get there for whatever reason, if there's a way of getting around your PTSD with ketamine, which is now, the U.S. government's going to approve some of these things, it's shockingly exciting. What a good way to deal with depression.
But I loved how
Yeah, that's a topic for sure. Dr. Oz on the show, radio talking about. I used to watch Dr. Oz in my TV days. What I mean by TV, like watching Channel 6, Channel 10, and Channel 17 and stuff like that. I was watching a lot of Dr. Oz. So for him to say his public figure is cool. You said, you said Dr. Oz is getting the pure stuff. He is. They ain't cut with no fat, no coke, no nothing. No baby powder, no nothing. Ketamine is being used a lot more frequently in therapeutic sessions. and therapeutic sessions. Theo Von. Oh, it's probably not going to be on the internet, and Joe Rogan going to sue me if I put it on there. Ketamine. He was talking about his ketamine experience on the Joe Rogan podcast yesterday. I was actually on there, and he went out of body. We went out of body with it. No, we not playing ads.
That something was going
Just
on.
for research purposes only, YouTube.
Man.
Anger at what?
I don't
research
know.
purpose.
Nothing. No specific reason.
I tried. I mean, I tried like.
So this was on the Joe Rogan
I've just
podcast.
done a ton of yoga.
Theo Von is one of my favorite
Isn't
comedians.
that amazing?
One of my favorite
Relieving
comedians.
Anger.
Oh,
He was so peaceful after you get
He
out
real
of there.
down to earth. He used to do a bunch of mushrooms. He grew up in the South. Said in the past, yeah, we just eat them busters. Candy, you know? Rocking the mullet. You always said they know why the top people don't want it out. People will also see the system for what it is. For what it is. Yeah, it's going to pop up, but I wonder how much that can be controlled in a therapeutic session. Like for seeing the universe for what it is. But I think that's on how you're being guided too. Because Theo Von, he going to talk about him having an out-of-body experience, but at a certain point, or even being out of body, he started panicking. So imagine if he was with a person that had more experiences with it and was able to like give him some tidbits beforehand or something like that. And not just say, hey, we just going to get this for the experience and just childhood trauma and stuff like that.
yoga, meditation. I tried the ketamine.
Oh, you do the nasal spray?
No,
You
I
were
did
a
the
rogan.
shoot 'em up.
Oh, did you really? You do the IV?
Yeah.
You went to a
IV.
doctor?
6 sessions, yeah, with a therapist in the room.
Did you trip balls?
Bro, I thought.
Yo, yeah, he was saying he was out.
A tonsil. Maybe you are.
Human, bro. Yeah, that was the time where I thought it was a tonsil.
A tonsil. Maybe you are.
Human, bro. Yeah, totally. I wouldn't be
Maybe
shocked.
we're all cells in a tonsil. Because you know how, like, an atom, if you think of an atom, most of it is like empty space. That's
Hold on, I
like
want to hear
whole
the story.
Feeling that wouldn't be. I need something dark. I need something more than that.
So when you thought you were tonsil, tell me what the experience was like.
Okay, so they put you in the thing. You're sitting there in the chair, and then suddenly, like, you have your eyes closed, and you're talking with a therapist the whole time during this place.
Is he talking too much?
No.
Is he like me?
No.
Yo, see, look at that foresight. I was skipping
No,
him.
I don't think he.
And
I'm
I
glad
forgot he
talked,
even
'cause
said that. I was like, yo,
it's
let me
hard for
keep skipping Joe Rogan.
The
You
most
talking
I've ever
too
talked in my
much.
life is a couple times with you ever in my life. And the man named John, the Serp, in the chair. And the man named John, the Sherpa kind of. You're in there with a Sherpa, and it's a lot.
Sherpa? I thought it was like a counselor or something.
I mean,
Therapist.
it's a count. He had a whistle around his neck, so that's the only part that made it a little bit dicey. But
God damn it.
But it was sanctioned. It's in a beautiful facility. It's a nice facility. So
I
go
thought
in,
you
they
was a
put it in, you
scale on
sit
a
in the
dragon
chair.
or a serpent.
I
Oh,
think
you
it was
well?
like, it might have been a
You know, you
safety
got any
piece
more
he had
about
from
this? You got any more about that
being
story?
a child or something. He could have been.
I think I can make
I
the
don't know,
chat come up
lifeguard. I have
on
no
here,
idea what
too.
his past was like.
There we go.
But he was a nice guy, but he's a therapist. So I'm sitting there and I start dreaming, like a regular dream, I start dreaming.
He's just
a little
start
bit.
dreaming.
I'm still talking to him. And then I start talking about
Being lucid.
being a kid. I love thinking about being a kid and stuff. And so I start talking about being a child, and then I start talking about my dad. And now, like, the darkness is starting to have, like, kind of shapes in it, and things are starting to feel that I'm talking about are starting to feel real.
Yeah.
Like, this feels real. I'm sitting in here with you.
How
and there's this
real is
table
it,
here, and this-
Theo?
so I can
How
feel
real
this feels
is
real.
it?
Jamie's right there. So things like that I'm talking about
felt
start
so
to feel.
real.
It has a feeling, not just a vision. So I started to feel, I was talking about my dad, and next thing you know, I'm spending time with my dad. Like, I'm with my dad.
Whoa.
And I hadn't gotten to spend time with my dad in 20 years. So, like,
And it was wild.
and I remember.
I was telling my girlfriend a story about my mushroom experience the same day, and I was saying how I met my dad. And then I was watching this later, and he said this.
I got to let my dad know that I loved him. I didn't know if he ever knew, And it was this crazy thing, dude. I'm sitting there and I'm bawling, crying, and like, I didn't plan on that when I went in there, but it felt like I was really with it felt as real as sitting here with you.
Wow.
Which for somebody being deceased and gone, it was so powerful.
I would think that would be a hard thing to share with someone you don't know.
I guess maybe that's where the ketamine really comes in, and I didn't.
It didn't bother you that you didn't know?
And I'm okay with I shared a lot of emotions.
Yeah, he talking about
so I
he
think
he
I'm probably
comfortable
more
person.
prone to it maybe than some people.
But I would just imagine that, like, if you don't know this man and you're sitting down, it's like an intensely.
No, you get comfortable.
Just somebody I would check in. I would say, John, is everything okay? Am I okay? Because I started to feel. Then I started to slide down the edge of the universe for a minute.
Yeah, this is the part I was waiting for.
It was hard. It was hard because you don't have any ropes or anything. I mean, you're out there to.
You don't got any ropes.
You're like, Hope Solo, or you're Solo Hope, or whatever that guy is who climbed. That guy, you had him on.
Free Solo, Alex.
The rock climber, he does it without any equipment.
But there's no mountain.
No ropes.
No mountain. But you have you do have a bag of chalk on your belt. I didn't notice that. But I felt like a cryptocurrency.
Yeah,
I felt myself like going through.
He said he felt like a cryptocurrency.
And then I came back to another moment. I got to spend time with. I got to see my mom when she was a kid, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Wow.
And just see that she was like a happy child or something, or just I don't know. So there was moments like that for me that were extremely intense and real. And otherwise, there was a lot of moments where I was just I was out of the chair. I remember at some points thinking, how am I ever going to get back into that chair?
Wow.
They'll never get me back in there. I was just so far out in my head.
How long did it last?
It felt like it lasted for about maybe 13 minutes, but it was an hour.
Neil Brennan told me about it.
Also, it seemed faster than what the actual thing was.
The Comedy Store.
That's something I didn't know about ketamine.
Yeah. And he looks at me and he goes, he's like, I was tripping. He goes, I didn't know what it was going to be because I was fucking tripping. And it was for him.
All right, this is Side Top Podcast watches the Joe Rogan Experience.
Severe tragedy or something like that, then it would really help. For me, it didn't feel like a long-term solution. It didn't help me with my anger, really.
So where do you think your anger's coming from? That's faction. About his cousin getting bit by a gay guy?
Well, it happened on
Yeah, that's it right there. Hey, well, you said it was a massive serpent and everyone was part of the serpent and was just dreaming. Ooh, I can see that now. I can see that now. It was like a Chinese kind of dream, like, I like saw the scales and oh yeah. Yeah, dreams are real. Dreams are real. Who dream are we a part of? Who dream are we waking out of? Can you wake up out of the dream? Or do you exist just inside of that dream? And then you're somebody's figment of imagination. And they like, oh, that's just a figment of my imagination. And you running around like, I'm real. And it's like, yes, you are. Topsy-turvies. But that was cool, him tying on him having an out-of-body experience and it actually feeling real. It feeling as real as talking. And that's what a lot of people don't expect, or when they hear people talk, don't know that when a person is talking about their experience, it's really connected to like as much as you talking to the person in that moment. But a person would probably try to die it down a bit so they don't come off as wild and crazy, but it is as wild and crazy. That's why this virtual reality and people putting on the virtual reality sets and then questioning a reality after putting the virtual reality set and seeing how it looks real and they senses involved in it it's a wild story. He said, yeah, a real pain mess. I already forgot my dream, but I know it was long and I know I was in my old neighborhood. Oh, those kind of dreams are the best. I haven't had them in a while, King. I used to have neighborhood dreams a lot in the past, like being in my old childhood houses and stuff. Excuse me. You said, I fell off the serpent and it was reaching for me. Like, whoop. Did you think it was all over? Or or did you start flying or something like that? You will. Just extrapolating. Yeah, my short-term memory is getting bad. Hey, don't curse yourself. Don't curse yourself. Yeah, yeah. It's all still there in the cache memory. All our memory is still there. So I woke up and jumped on the podcast for some reason and forgot it all. And us training our brains too. Like start writing down your dreams after like a week or so. You'll start having like how I term it, you'll start training your brain memory to say, hey, this is something to remember. This is something to grasp onto. Like this is something as it being something interesting. Especially if you start carrying it on throughout your days and creating stories about it and stuff like that, creating art pieces, art forms, because like you're bridging that gap because you always in that dream. You always have access to that dream portal at any time. So you have find ways to open it up. Find ways to open it up. And I even get glimpses of older dreams and like older dreams, but of past dreams and stuff I had. Like, oh yeah, I remember that. And sometimes it be getting wild where it's like, oh, was that a memory or was that a dream? Oh, that was a dream, man. Ain't actually that ain't happen here. Remember, you always said many of the herbs now give okay visions, more so to music. I was just floating, but just out of reach, so I can see it was a dragon. I know you was getting some kind of float game on. I didn't know, but I was seeing. See, is seeing the same as knowing? Is that? That's a real question. I'm asking. Seeing the same as knowing. To help short-term memory, you can use schedules, routines, so you have ritualistic memories and stay in the moments long enough and retain memories and memories intake. Yeah, routines for sure. If I stop doing Blender, I've learned forget the shortcuts, but I've been getting these shortcuts even more proper than I imagined. I'll just stick to this. I'm like, no, I need these shortcuts. Stick in this routine. And that's where that and Wicca and stuff where I grew up learning about the Book of Shadows and writing down your dreams and stuff. I didn't really understand why they talked about that until the practice came about. Until the practice came about and me doing it. Oh, you said, matter of fact, I'm behind in the chat. I'm behind in the chat. Let me catch up. Matter of fact, it was a world where a lot of Titans existed, but I had the power to summon Godzilla to protect me. Godzilla to the rescue, said Ollie Cat. Yeah, Godzilla protect Tokyo. Protected Tokyo all the time. Godzilla a hero. Even though Godzilla crashed my game, I was playing VR chat and I lost access to that file. I was able to copy people avatars. Somebody had this awesome huge Godzilla avatar. And so I copied it. But then once I copied it, I wasn't able to go into my settings. It was like it innately had a virus or something in it. And it just corrupted my whole file. I wasn't able to change my avatar out of it. And then the avatar itself wasn't animated correctly. So I wasn't able to move. So I lost that file, had to create a new one. But it was fun being Godzilla for a while. In VR. I tell the Godzilla's been persistent for a long time. Modern day folklore. All right, I got another clip from the TikTok rim. Thank you, Michael Truth. Me after drinking DMT for the first time. DMT aliens.
Hey! Why do you sound like that?
Because you, my precious little bitch boy,
Stop it,
are
sir.
tripping balls.
Thank you, Brain Cell Bandit, for uploading that. Saying his first time drinking DMT tea. So is it mushrooms or something like that? Is that what he talking about? But that is how the confrontation is. Do you know the way? The Ugandan knuckles popped in my head. Do you know the way? Yes, I know the way. I think I know the way. 4ACO. It could have been 4ACO DMT. That's how I did it. But I didn't make a tea. You just dissolve it in water. Hey, but nonetheless, meeting the aliens and that feeling of the first encounters. If he wasn't mindly like prepared for that, he got that skit on point.
During trippy experiences, I see energy grids connecting everything. In one of my ayahuasca ceremonies, I saw the universe as this holographic energy grid matrix out in the middle of infinite black space. The planets, including Earth, were all holographic. They were all chilling in the matrix universe like this, and this is what you get when you look up space-time fabric. Now, the holographic universe idea suggests that our universe contains a hidden order connecting every single point to every other point in the universe. Therefore, we are all infinitely connected. It suggests that what we perceive as physical reality is actually just holographic images, and these images are in fact just bits of information stored on a lower dimensional world.
Says information is such that these are just perceived as physical reality holographics at their ayahuasca trip. Yeah, that's what Einstein made up and stuff like that. The space-time fabric and it being curved gravity and objects in space curved gravity and this kind of space, and then that's what make all the freaky stuff happen, like time dilation and everything. He said, "They tell me who was the queen." I had a deep conversation about that yesterday. About the queen. A real funny conversation about the queen and the use of the term and how people use that term. But I was mostly going in how people in the 90s with Kufis was using it. Was using queen to try to get in people pants. But yeah, but the connotation of what the queen is awesome. I'll play it again, as requested by Uel.
During trippy experiences, I see energy grids connecting everything. In one of my ayahuasca ceremonies, I saw the universe.
I can get her on the podcast. I gotta probably get her to reply to a comment. But it was, she said she would in one thing, but I can't message her privately until she follow me
During
back.
trippy experiences, I see energy grids connecting everything. In one of my ayahuasca ceremonies, I saw the universe as this holographic energy grid matrix out in the middle of infinite black space. The planets, including Earth, were all holographic. They were all chilling in the matrix universe like this, and this is what you get when you look up space-time fabric. Now, the holographic universe idea suggests that our universe contains a hidden order connecting every single point to every other point in the universe. Therefore, we are all infinitely connected. It suggests that what we perceive as physical reality is actually just holographic images, and these images are in fact just bits of information stored on a lower dimensional world.
And that's how you travel through space. You could tap into any moment and it's connected to another moment. I think people be saying people crazy when they be connecting dots and saying, "Oh, why are you bringing up this moment from this and that and that and that?" They travel into them spaces in them moments. That moment connecting to this, and that's where they space vehicle is taking them. And the space grid, like the literal space grid, how I was talking about. If y'all got information on this, too, tie away. Discord is open. Einstein talking about the equations and him talking about how he imagined all of this stuff. And then see the flower of life pattern grid with the hexagonal pattern in front of it. And the geometry behind it with the golden ratio. And then he talking about the holographic universe being stored in lower bits on the information. Only 1204. I gotta pick her up at 1 o'clock. All right. He said it's like hyperdimensional GPS. Yeah, it is like a hyperdimensional GPS. And once you start getting the code encoded and you just having it programmed in you how this stuff work, or just a natural born traveler and stuff like that. I'm thinking of the magicians, how they had the different people that had different powers by Lev Grossman, and it was people that was called the travelers. But then they had to learn how to travel and focus their energy so they can know how to not travel themselves to the center of the sun and like just burn up alive, but travel to like a place that they visualize in their mind and then go to that space.
Just bits of information.
How's the binary
Why
cat?
don't you pick up
Fun
the
fact, one of the
phone,
actors in my
waiting for
music
you to
video
get
popped a tab
home?
the acid before he started and
take it
forgot
off.
he was in a music video. I'm guessing it's the guy right there doing the twists and turns. Oh, or is the guy wiping the window? Oh, it's the guy in the car.
Interdimensional kaleidoscope.
Wait a second. That was too fast, bro. That looked like straight up CGI. That's one of the best
Interdimensional kaleidoscope.
Yeah, I think I only have 4 videos right now. But yeah, it's a lot of interesting corners to turn around. hmm It's a lot of interesting corners that we turn down as we go as human beings and stuff. I was just thinking about me doing microdosing and stuff again. I stopped for like 4 days and took a dose, such a little dose. But do anybody experience? I know y'all probably experience wakefulness. Like I'll just be up no matter how much energy I expel. It's just like, oh, I'm still up. And I'll just be chilling too. It's like, no. Oh. Like I just be chilling and stuff, especially at nighttime. Especially at nighttime when like now I understand why they call it the witching hour and stuff like that. They say 3 a.m. and at nighttime that's when you're alive with the moon, and the moon is your feelings and everything. It's like without much commotion going on, it's a sense where I'm interacting with what we call the dream world or the spirit world and stuff while still being conscious and everything without totally going to sleep. And then once I'm able to witness the transfers between from wakefulness to sleepfulness to like lucidness and things like that. And I feel myself taking part in all of those planes, all of those different planes or however we put it. And it's pretty cool because like I'm literally living out the stories that I always read about and how I always felt inside. It's like I am the person that I felt inside. So so I'm literally just like fucking myself all day. Just like, yo, let's just see what's going on with me. Like take care of me. And it's like it's wild. It's amazing. You say you ever see a rainbow twin vortex meeting at a point? Not personally until now when you said it. Probably like an art piece or something, but never in like a dream experience or like in another world. Have you seen one? Like when was the time that you seen that, What made that pop up? And being the dream and stuff like that, it's really wild. It's really wild because then every character and that you walk around and talk is like you just being yourself. You start turning to yourself with the psychedelics. Well, I started turning into myself with psychedelics just because it's like things that you wouldn't want to admit about yourself. You learn to appreciate about yourself, as well as change and mold into what you wanted to be in the situation instead of it then just taking over And like, oh, I had no choice but to stab him. Like I felt it. I just had to stab him. Or I had no choice but to be nice, even though I was being taken over and stuff like that. It's like, hey, you given the choice. Like you said, you are the Matrix. Yeah, you are. Gang jumping in at the end saying you are the Matrix. You are the Matrix. I titled this "Plug into the Matrix." Plug into what? Like plug, like I said, plug into yourself. It's one of the most topsy-turvy things that we would have to admit to as human beings. And that come from witnessing the stillness and the activeness at the same time. Cause you can know this, you could just know it without having the experience and still be experienced. What I'm talking about is Andrew, what's his name? Andrew something. He's Andrew Schwartz. He's a comedian. He was talking about ayahuasca. It was him and Charlemagne. And Charlemagne was saying, yeah, I think that when I'm turned 50, I want to be able to retire and just do ayahuasca and all that other stuff. Go out by the beach and just like try to find that inner peace. Like really go find that thing. Go to that thing. And he said, I want to like do that when I'm 50 and stuff and just let my corporations run. So then Andrew was talking, he did acid before, but he didn't do ayahuasca. And he was saying, are you prepared to not do nothing for a day? Are you prepared to not do nothing for a day for you or yourself? I mean, for you, for you or anybody else. And that was his fear with it, was that it was going to take away his drive to like do anything, period, for anything, for anybody, because you're going to experience this thing that's bigger than everything. So why participate in reality and stuff? And he was saying how he was shying away from it because he was thinking how it would take away his drive and all his things that have been making him build his career up to the point where it is, like all his traumas and everything. So he was self-aware as a person of like knowing what could possibly happen with his life. Even though when I was listening to that, I'm kind of rambling now. I was listening to that, I was like saying, had the same kind of fears, but during the come-ups and stuff, I was saying, hey, I'm already talking. So it was like, I'm already programming myself to keep on talking. No matter what, that's just what I do. So it's a lot of fears we go into before psychedelics all the time. Stuff always pop up. But what's on the other side is like, it's magical. It's you. You said you see it on CBD gummies. Man, shout out. I got a CBD line I'm working on. I already got all the CBD oil and everything. I'm working on the actual product to infuse it into. And then you'll be seeing Just Thai CBD something coming out pretty soon. Now, CBD relaxes me. And I use it when I'm sick. I use it a lot more when I'm sick and when I've had the tooth pains and everything. But during the daily day, it just turns my relaxation meter all the way up. All the way. I'm just relaxed about stuff. Not particularly high about the situation. But I probably am high because I'm probably smoking on top of it. But if I'm just out and about and the CBD kicking in, it's a chill journey. And it helps, like, I was doing research on it too. How it's been helping repair certain cells in the brain. I'm like, all of these fucking herbs, bro, that they literally made illegal is repairs the body on the next level. I was just seeing how people make aspirin from a whisper tree or a wicker tree or something like that. And it's not aspirin, it's like another chemical, but it's the natural version of like Aleve and stuff like that. And he was showing how to make it. And he's like, yeah, they had to change the chemical because you can't patent nature. You can't patent nature, which means you can't make money off of it. They had to change it around. But as well, they said it helped with the stomach and everything, helped with the stomach problems and other side effects, like lessen that. So it's always it's always a give and take to things. Says you're getting some lag. Yeah, it's in the red for some reason, even though the connection connected to my fast router. But I was actually about to tune out pretty soon. You will. I was actually gonna tune out pretty soon. It's been a wonderful time. I'm gonna get some